Right, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Property Subcommittee today, Wednesday the 4th of January. First item on the agenda is apologies. Do we have any apologies?
We've got apologies from Councillor Parry and Councillor DeVille.
Item number 2 is declarations of interest. Any declarations of interest? For the record, nobody is indicating. Third item is minutes of the meeting held on the 7th of December 2022. Can I have your approval that those are a correct record of the meeting?
Yes.
That is so approved. Agenda item 4 is the acquisition and lease of school site Deanslade, Lichfield. Councillor White, we're with you.
Thank you very much, Chairman. I'm filling in for Councillor DeVille on this and another item today, so if I get anything wrong, I'll look to our very well-briefed officers to help me out. But this one is a straightforward one. It's the transfer of a site for a school, which we're currently in the process of constructing at Deanslade in Lichfield. The transfer needs to take place before we can enter into a 125-year lease of the site to the Academy Trust that will be operating the school. It's a relatively straightforward process and one that we're familiar with here in terms of the lease. The transfer is a bit later than we'd usually expected, I think it's fair to say, but we can hopefully get on with making that happen today. I'll hand over to the officers now to fill in any of the gaps that I've left.
Jason.
Thank you. So yes, it's a fairly standard transfer, but for some further information, a licence to occupy the land and to carry out construction works was agreed in August 2022, which was pending the formal land transfer. We commenced construction in September 22 and the project's on programme for the school to be open in September 23. The DFE have appointed the Arthur Terry Partnership, Learning Partnership, as the Academy sponsor, and so the 125-year lease would be with the Arthur Terry Learning Partnership. The partnership have actually named the school now the Anna Seward Primary School, which is after the 18th century poet who was often referred to as the Swan of Lichfield. So two parts, it's the transfer into the county and then further to enact the lease over to the Arthur Terry Learning Partnership.
Thank you. Anything to add before I continue? Right, Jonathan?
No, just to highlight it, it's just another example of the really good collaborative work that this authority does, and it will be really pleasing to see that 210-place school open this September as well. I visited the site a couple of times and it's come on very, very quickly. So no, really pleased and fully support this, of course.
Thank you. And of course, I forget I'm in a formal meeting. Councillor Price. Legal.
No comments. We're already instructed in the matter and progressing the transfer as soon as possible.
Finance.
No comment, Chair.
Valuation.
No comment from me, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Turner, anything to add before we open it up for any further conversation?
No, nothing from me, thank you.
Local member comments from Councillor Greatorex.
Councillor Greatorex had no objections to it and no comments to add.
Thank you. Members of the committee, anything to add over and above that Councillor Price said?
No, would you like me to read the
If you'd like to read the recommendations, Councillor White.
Okay, thank you very much, Chair. So the recommendation is that this committee agrees to the completion of the transfer of the site from Taylor Wimpey UK Limited to Staffordshire County Council and the grant of an agreement for lease and a 125-year lease of the site following construction of the primary school on site by Staffordshire County Council. The final details of the transaction is to be delegated to the Assistant Director for Commercial and Assets.
You've heard the recommendations. All those in favour?
Agreed.
For the record, that is unanimous. Moving on to agenda item number 5, Cannock Household Waste Recycling Centre extension of leasing arrangements. Councillor White, I believe we're back with you.
Yeah, so my second fill-in item. So this is another very good use of our time and assets. So this is a proposal to approve the grant of a lease at the Cannock Household Waste Recycling site to the Catherine House Hospice, so that they can run a reuse shop on the site, which is a fantastic type of activity. It will raise funds for the hospice and help them with their much valued works, but also further the recycling of items that can be reused with a little bit of effort. And we can facilitate this through this transaction. In terms of the details, I'll hand over to the officers again, and I'm happy to cover any questions that fall to me later on.
Okay, thank you. Yes, during this period of this extension, what we want to do is some soft market testing, because the original contract with Catherine House was organised with FCC, who was the original contract, well, one of the contractors who ran the original HWRC contracts. What we want to do is look at with soft market testing, have we got the right model? Is there any other charities who'd be interested to be involved in it, to see if it's more Staffordshire-wide or whatever? We've started talking to a number of them, both local charities and national charities, to see where we go going forward, or we carry on as is. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr Turner, anything to add?
No, fine. It is just a continuation of the existing arrangements, just for 12 months. I think the household waste site team have been doing a lot of work with the transfer of the facilities internally, and that's really probably why this has taken a bit of a back seat. So the extra 12 months will allow them to complete that and hopefully put in some new longer-term permanent arrangements, so completely support it. There is no loss of value for us, really, in significant terms at the moment. Thank you.
Yeah, and like we said before, this is a good thing for the local community and charity work, and it's something that we wouldn't want to take away. It's, are we doing it the right charity, or are we doing it the best way? Are there any other models that we can follow? And from the soft market testing, we can find out some of that information.
Thank you. Mrs Ballinger, have you got any comments, given your local knowledge of Cannock?
No real additional comments, only that it's an incredibly well-used service in the local area, and so a valuable asset.
Some of us have visited Catherine House. It's a fantastic operation, it really is, and allowing them to continue on in this way is superb. I do agree with you on the soft market testing point, but before we go any further and open it up to further debate from the committee, legal, any comments?
No comments from legal.
Finance?
No comments, Chair.
Valuation?
It is obviously undervalued, but obviously brings other community benefits. So the committee can obviously consider those.
And thank you for reminding us of that. I think I preempted you with my comments tonight. Local member, Councillor Thompson.
Councillor Thompson has advised that she believes that the Catherine House Hospice should be allowed to continue its tenancy for a peppercorn rent, and has also stated that Catherine House Hospice do an amazing job for so many people, and if we as a county council can continue to support them in this shop, I believe it will be greatly appreciated by Catherine House and the residents of Cannock who use it.
Members of the committee, any comments? Councillor Price? No. Councillor White? No. If you could read us the recommendations, please, Councillor White.
Okay, so there are two recommendations. The first is that this committee approve the grant of a lease to enable the continuation of the reuse operation at Cannock Household Waste Recycling Centre, Lichfield Road, Cannock, to Catherine House Hospice for a term commencing on the 1st of April 2023 and ending on 31st of March 2024 at £1 per annum. And secondly, agreement of the final terms of the lease to be delegated to the Assistant Director of Commercial and Assets.
It has been moved. All those in favour?
Agreed.
For the record, that is unanimous. Ladies and gentlemen, that magnificently concludes the meeting. So without further ado, I declare the meeting closed.